this summer at the age of 64. And joining us now are volunteer legends Lon Herzbrun and Ray Trail. This segment is brought to you by Goatees, the official supplier of sportswear for the sports page. Call 984-5230 or visit online at goatees.com for more information. Pathead Summit, 1,098 wins, 208 losses, 84% winning percentage, 8 NCAA championships, 32 Southeastern Conference championships, 31 consecutive appearances in the NCAA tournament, 14 Olympic team members, 34 WNBA players, 21 All-Americans, 39 All-SEC players, 100% graduation rate, Hall of Fame honors, and you can go on and on. Coach Herzbrun and Coach Trail, unbelievable what she accomplished in her lifetime. What made her a winner, Lonnie?
Well, she is a person that wanted to win so bad and paid the price to do that. She was, there'll never be another one like her. I just don't think in any sport. She was the winningest coach in boys or girls basketball. Incredible what she accomplished.
Coach Trail, what made her so special? Why was she able to be so consistent over so many years with her players and still be able to accomplish what she was able to accomplish?
Well, not taking anything away from Pat, but she came in on the on the front side of women's basketball, and when she first started, you had just one or two schools that were even emphasizing ladies basketball, and so it gave her a chance because she came in a very young coach, and it gave her a chance to develop that program. And, of course, we were ahead of everybody in facilities and everything, which made it a place she wanted to come. And it gave her a chance to get her feet on the ground and get a good solid base under her program, and it carried her all the way through. And, that's what a lot of people, you don't get that opportunity to start from the ground up and build your program.
If you ever heard her speak, though, what a great motivator. She had a burning desire to win games, and she made her players feel the same way. They were winners.
I was there in the very beginning. Helen B. Watson, who was there in the PE department at PE, and Dr. Nancy Lay, they brought Pat in to be an assistant coach to Margaret Hudson. And Margaret Hudson took a sabbatical leave, and then they decided to go ahead and hire Pat. And so we were in graduate school together in the very beginning over there. And I'll never forget in the class there were some football players from North Alabama, and you had all of this equal rights for women's sports going on with men at that particular time. A lot of discussion, and I remember those North Alabama, and Pat she'd get real vocal about that, especially when she was going down to Tusculum and Maryville College and playing games and having to raise money and sell donuts to get to the games. And these guys at North Alabama, I'll never forget, they said, well, Pat said, it took men's athletics 75 years to get where they're at. Said, you just got to give it some time. And she said, well, I just like to get down to LMU, But, I look back on what she's accomplished. I don't know where those guys from North Alabama are now, but I'm glad I just kind of kept my mouth shut, while all that was going on in there. But, she ended up being the head coach. Her first year was 16-8, and her second year was 16-11, and that's the only time she didn't win 20 games, Lonnie, the rest of the way out. Huh?
A phenomenal record. Yeah. Just phenomenal. You can't say enough good things about it. I've never heard any ill talks about Pat Head.
Yeah. Coach Trail, of all of her accomplishments, which do you think was the most impressive?
Well, I think the most impressive was the graduation rate of 100%. Yeah. I think that's what school is all about. And, I think that's the reason you go to school. And it's not the wins and the losses and everything. You're only there for 3 or 4 years, so you just have a small sector of what's going on. The overall thing is the graduation rate.
We were all over there together in the 70s, and all the sports were strong at that particular time over there, and they expected everybody to dress a certain way and to act a certain way,
right,
to represent the university a certain way. And Pat Head Summit never wavered from that.
No.
Through the years, we saw coaches come and go here in all of our various sports, and we saw them bend and bend and bend as far as dress codes and so forth. But Pat Head was always the same. She represented that 70s the way it was supposed to be in the very beginning over there. Girls were going to look a certain way, act a certain way, represent the university in a certain way, and graduate. That's what I think was real special about her, Lonnie.
Well, you're talking about discipline, and she had that all the way through her program, and that is the difference. You can't become a winner without discipline.
Coach Trail, if she was able to go ahead and continue to coach, how much longer do you think she would have coached? And do you think that she could have still challenged Connecticut as far as what they have done here in the last several years?
Oh yeah, I definitely think she could. You know, I think the last 3 or 4 years she kind of tailed off, but I think she was really not feeling well because you think back, her assistant coach was doing more coaching than she was that last year or two there, and I know that probably affected the recruiting and all that kind of stuff, but you know. She had it going on. I mean, everybody wanted to go play for Tennessee, and I mean, she definitely would have challenged Connecticut, no doubt about that. And you know, what can you say?
Lonnie, when John Wooden died, I think that Pat Head was really on that level. I think even more so around here because she coached at UT, as far as what we heard. But as far as putting them right up there. As time goes on, do you think that? I'm asking this question because I don't ever think anybody is as good as everybody thinks they are, or as bad as everybody thinks they are. Do you think as time goes on that there'll be some things that'll come out about Pat Head like they did with John Wooden that people didn't know about?
Well, I'm sure because they don't know the background of these people and what they expected out of their people that played for them. All we do know is the fact that she's a winner, and she was ahead of Wooten as far as wins are concerned. But basketball for the men was so big long before the women's, and that made his records.
Coach Trail, Gino Auriemma has passed Pat Head Summit in national championships, and he's got plenty of years left. Do you think that Pat will still have the pedestal and the legendary stigma with her as long as Gino continues to break records?
Well, the thing is, there's probably somebody behind Gino that's coming along too. So I mean, there's more room on the pedestal than just one person. The Connecticut coach is going to be right there with her or ahead of her or whatever, but you can't take away what they accomplished within their programs. But there will be others, that are coming along because of the emphasis now on the ladies' sports programs, and you're seeing things happening in the ladies' sports programs that you never thought you would see. And I go back to when the girls played basketball, it was 3-on-3, 3 on one end, 3 on the other. I mean, it's come a long way, and it's just going to get better and better. I'll tell you that right now, because it's starting now so much younger. It's almost like pro baseball. Those kids start playing at 7 years old. Doing the same thing now with basketball and football and all this stuff. Kids are starting out earlier. They get better and better.
And the rules have changed to make records even greater. The fact is that, the 3 points, don't you wish they had 3 points when you were
Yes, I do.
playing?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, they'd guarded him. They would have guarded him more. I mean, they wouldn't just let him stand out there and shoot threes.
Hey, Lonnie, she was asked to coach the men's team at UT. She turned the offer down. If she had accepted that offer, what do you think the results would have been? She would have been the first women's coach in the men's game on a major college level, and highly qualified to do that. What do you think the results?
I think she's qualified to do it, but then it gets down to recruiting, And the guys playing for a woman, I don't think they would have gone there.
Coach Trail, what do you think?
I think she would have done well. I think she would have done well. You know, you got men coaching women. So, I mean, what's the difference in a woman coaching the men? And I think she would have run a very disciplined, just like the ladies. And I think they definitely would have been successful. I really do. I don't care who you are, man, woman, whatever you are. If you've got discipline and a good teaching instruction and with all in your program, you can win.
Well, what a great life she lived, and the contributions to the game of basketball and basically being a pioneer to get it all started. She will always be remembered for that. And all of the other things that she did, but most of all, she'll be remembered as what a great person she was and how she related to so many people around here and touched so many lives. Hey, timeout has been called. The UT Sports Report has been brought to you by Go Tees. Go Tees, the official supplier of sportswear for the sports page, serving the country's best companies, colleges, and high schools right from your own backyard. Give them a call at 984-5230 or online at gotees.com. We will continue with UT legends Lon Herzbrun and Ray Trail when we return. You're listening to the Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Crossover vehicle.